today, Year 3, we're going to be looking at some 3D shapes. So up the top here, you can see we are learning to name and recognize 3D shapes. We're going to examine the properties. That means the things that make it up. So what are the things that would make up a pyramid or a cone? How would we describe it using maths talk? And we're going to recall our 11 times tables. You will need your Play-Doh. Hopefully last week you made some Play-Doh, or you have some Play-Doh at home that you can use, because you're going to use that to help you do some learning today. So first up, you can see we've got our 11 times tables activities. You've got a video to watch comparing angles. So we've been working on angles on Monday and Tuesday, and we're just going to be watching this last one. A lot of shapes and comparing the angles in shapes. A 3D shape song, and recognizing and describing 3D shapes, a second video there. Then we've got a little clip here to watch. It's a Google Doc for you, a Google presentation. And when you click on that, it's going to say for today, 3D shapes, cones, spheres, and pyramids, because they're the 3D shapes we're going to be looking at today. When you get to the first slide, it says you'll need some Play-Doh. And you can see on this slide, a sphere. Well, I've had a go at making a sphere with my yellow Play-Doh. It says name 3 things that are spheres. You need to think of 3 things that are spheres. Now, when you look at your sphere, how many curved surfaces are there? So curved means going around. How many corners are there? How many flat surfaces? So flat surfaces are like this envelope here has a flat surface, and when I do this to it and bend it a little bit, it becomes a curved surface. But this is a flat surface. And the last one says, how easily could I stack this shape? Now, Play-Doh is a bit easier to stack, but if I had tennis balls or if I had basketballs, how easy are they to stack on top of each other? Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to have a look down on the top, and if you're going to draw a shape that you could see if you looked down, you need to draw it. And the next one is the side view. So this is from the top. So if I looked over at the top, here's my Play-Doh. I'm going to look down on top. What shape can I see? And then if I go to the side, what shape would I call it if it was a sphere? So they're the questions you need to answer for that. The next shape you need to make is a cone. I've had a go at making a cone. 3 things that are conical shaped or cone shaped. Across the top. The next one, how many curved surfaces? How many corners? How many flat surfaces? And can I stack this shape easily? Yes or no? And then you've got to do the same. You've got to put your cone on the table. So I've got a little desk in front of me here. And on my little desk, I need to see, if I look down from the top, what does it look like? And then if I look from the side, you've got the top there. If I look down from the top, what does it look like? And if I look from the side, what shape would it look like? And I'll give you a clue. These ones are going to be 2-dimensional shapes. So they're going to be 2-dimensional shapes, it looks like. The next one is for a cylinder. So you'll need to make a cylinder out of your Play-Doh and go through those questions as well. And then we're going to have a look at some pyramids. So for the next little bit, you will need a knife for chopping. If you've got a plastic knife or a Play-Doh knife, that's fine. It doesn't need to be sharp. And make sure you're not cutting on a table, but you've got something underneath to protect the table that you're cutting on. A pyramid has triangular sides. So you'll see triangles on the sides. They meet at a point called the vertex or the apex. And I've got a square-based pyramid. And so you can tell it's a square-based pyramid because the base down here is a square. And all of these sides are triangles. Now, what you'll need to do, I'm going to quickly try and turn my cylinder into a square-based pyramid. So I'm using my table to flatten some sides. I'm going to try and make them triangular down to a point. And a square on the bottom. So you're going to try and make a square-based pyramid. So when you do a shape, what I'd love you to do, when we're looking at a shape, examining it, I'd love you to try and make it the best you can out of Play-Doh. Now on this shape, I should have got a toothpick. I don't have a toothpick. If you want to grab a toothpick, that's a really good thing to do. I might use the end of my knife. It says how many faces. So I'm actually going to draw on this side. I'm going to draw a number 1. And then I'm going to turn this side and write a number 2, because that's another face. And then I'm going to do a number 3. Almost like digital clock time. So I've got 1, 2, 3. And what do you think I'm going to do on this side? If you think 4, you are exactly right. This is side number 4, but there's one more, the base. So I'm going to write number 5 down here. So I've got a number on every face, which means I've got them all. So there's 5 faces. How many corners? Well, there's one up here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the boxes that are here, I'm going to draw all of the shapes. So I'm going to draw my number 1 face here, my number 2 are at the number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And then I need to have a look at the top view. If I look down at the top of this square-based pyramid, what does it look like? And if I look at the side, what would I see? The next pyramid you're going to do, now all these pyramids come up into a point because that's what pyramids do. They have an apex and a base, and the base shape tells you what kind of pyramid it is. So this was a square-based pyramid. Next you'll need to make, we've got to do some chopping. I forgot about this bit. The next bit is some chopping. Now you can see we're going to do a horizontal chop and a vertical chop. So I have a square-based pyramid, and if I chop my pyramid through the side, you can see I've got a square, but it's a smaller square. And if I cut it down even further down towards the base, you don't want to mush your shape up too much when you're doing it so you can still see the shape. It's an even bigger square. So a square-based pyramid, if I cut it through horizontally, like the horizon, the sun sets on the horizon, so it goes across. But if I cut it vertically, if I go from the top to the bottom, I wonder what 2D shapes I notice. I'm going to go from the top to the bottom, carefully cutting, and I'm going to open my pyramid. And you might notice the 2D shape that is. So for the next activity, you need to make a triangular-based pyramid. And we're going to write the numbers on the sides for how many faces. You're going to count the corners. And then for every one of those faces that you had, you need to draw every face in the box. And there'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Draw the top view, draw the side view, and then you need to do some chopping. You need to draw a horizontal chop and see what shape will be in there. And then you need to do a vertical chop and open it up and see what shape will be in there. Now the next one's a little bit tricky, so you can choose if you're going to make a hexagon or a pentagon or an octagon-based pyramid. And then you're going to count how many faces there are, how many corners there are. You're going to use the boxes. I hope you've got enough there to the boxes for how many the faces that make it up. And then you're going to draw the top view. So looking down from the top, if you were leaning right over and looking down, what shape you see. And then the side view. If you're looking at the side, what would you see? And last of all, you are going to chop it a horizontal chop. What shape will you find? And a vertical chop. When you chop it that way, what will you find? A pyramid has triangle sides, and they all meet at a point or a vertex. That's the end of that activity. When you're finished, there is a different times table quiz that you might enjoy doing it's a bit of a mashup, that one, not straight 11s. And then you've got an app here that you can slide to. I'll show you. It looks like this one. And you're going to go to 3D solids. So when it's up, it looks like this. Geometry, and we're going to go down to 3D solids. Now what's cool is this one is a triangle-based pyramid, and what you can do is unfold it. If you unfold it, it will show you all of the sides, all of the faces that fold together to make it. And you can see there's a triangle-based pyramid. It's got a triangle on the bottom and all the triangle sides. There's a cube, and you can just drag these around like this, and you can unfold it and see all the sides. This one, I might move it over here. And you can change the colours. So I can make that one purple. You can make some of them different colours. Now there's different 3D shapes down here. There's a prism that you can make, and we can unfold that one as well and have a look at the bits that make it up. So you can see it's actually a hexagonal prism and pyramid. What shape do you predict will be on the bottom? I can actually have a look and a check. Looks like a hexagon there, hexagonal pyramid. And if we unfold it, you can see the base and then all the sides that open up. So you can have a bit of a play with that one. There's a number of other things that you might like to play with on here. There's tangram, and there's also the different tiles that you can use for these ones for different kinds of building to make some patterns as well. The tessellating patterns don't have any gaps between, so you could make those. But you can have a bit of a play with those 3D shapes and see how they unfold and how you could put them together too to make a picture. That's all for maths today. So make sure you share your learning when you're done with me. That would be great. If you need the Google Doc, down the bottom you can click on that as well for your maths learning today.